today I do want to touch upon what happened, right? As far as I know, I want to share and be transparent with all of you lovely, amazing gamers. I want to tell you exactly what happened, how I found it, what I did, everything like that, okay? So I'm just going to explain it. I'm going to say this, right, okay? So we wanted to get into the DBD Creator program as much as anybody else, okay? I thought it was the natural evolution of, like, our progress, and we could meet new people, and we could uplift ourselves, and we could, you know, reach some new heights or something, right? It's okay to aspire and do those things. So naturally, I wanted to apply, and I believed thoroughly that Behaviour would obviously do some kind of vetting process before they would let anybody in, because I would have guessed that being a company and all, you wouldn't just let anybody inside the creator program, right? Because that would be probably kind of dangerous, and you never know who could come in there or what they stand for or what kind of damage they could do. So naturally, I think, you know, they would obviously want to vet people, okay? So that makes complete sense. So I do need to put a little disclaimer out before I talk about this. To every single person that is currently inside the Dead by Daylight Creator Program, my heart goes out to you. Congratulations. I mean this in the best way possible. I really hope that that Creator Program helps elevate your content, makes you stronger, makes you more visible, and it brings wonderful things to you, okay? So I'm not upset about that at all. I hope all of our lovely friends of the community and of the stream do really, really well inside the Creator Program, and I wish you the very best of luck. I'm sure you guys will smash it. Just look after yourselves, okay? But obviously, we're talking about me right now and what happened. So a few days ago, I received an email basically just saying that we are no longer a part of the DBD Creator Program, okay? This is the email that I got, guys, and it reads, "Hello, thank you for your involvement in the Dead by Daylight Creator Program and your contributions to the community. We regret to inform you that you have been removed from the Dead by Daylight Creator Program for the following reasons." Okay, this is all I have to go with. "It has been flagged to our team that you have engaged in activity that is in direct violation of our Creator Program policy that you agreed to when you joined." Okay, so there's nothing specific outlined there. I have absolutely no idea what I've done, what I could have done. So that really good, like, that basically gives me nothing to work with, right? Essentially, it's saying something without saying anything, right? As a reminder, when you joined the program, it was mentioned that removal can occur at any time at the discretion of the Dead by Daylight team, okay? So that's basically it. The last part is irrelevant. We get hit with this, and we're just kind of like, oh, okay, right, that's okay, I guess. It is worth bearing in mind that I was live whilst I received this. They sent this email to me at, I believe, around 10:20 p.m., okay, so we were already streaming at this time. This is why, unfortunately, I discovered this news after we'd already left the program, and I didn't even know about it. So that kind of sucked, I've got to be real. And naturally, I was a little bit upset, right? Because I have no idea why they've done it. I was trying to go back and forth, like, what have I done? What have I said? And I will say, I have been very critical of Behaviour, okay? It's not a lie, right? A lot of my content recently has really been hitting out at, like, the pain points in the community, a lot of killers suffering with killer anxiety, and a lot of these things coming together and making people quite mad, right? It was never to spark an us versus them. In fact, if anybody spent a little bit of time inside my content, you would know that I never actually want the us versus them argument to get any worse. I want it to get better, but I want some equality, and I want the killer players in the fog to also have their voices heard, right? And my factual evidence to back that up was that last year, during the Quality of Life Initiative, we got barely nothing for the killers, right? In terms of surveys, right? So I used to talk about this a lot. Behaviour would release a lot of surveys, and everything in there would be talking about, it's basically all survivor-sided questions, okay? So which killer do you not like the most? Is there anything in the game that you hate that the killer does? Blah, 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 right? And then they came out with their next thing. Yo, Obi-Wan, thank you for the 13 months, bro. I appreciate that. Obviously, we're just, you know, trying to be a voice for a lot of killer players out there, because I genuinely felt in my heart that there was a lot of people out there that were having killer anxiety. They didn't dare go and play killer, and obviously we don't want that, right? If we genuinely care about the game and the overall game balance, we want people to enjoy playing the game. We need to do something about it, and we must talk about it. Even if it's uncomfortable, we have to talk about it if we want to make progress and do something as a community, right? So I decided to do something about that. I decided to put that stress on my shoulders, and I would talk for Killers and try and give this opportunity to the developers for them to do something about it. Now, obviously, I never predicted being kicked out of the creator program would be a result of it, and of course, I'm only left to speculate because this truly is the only information that I have been given. Now, I have sent an email to Behaviour. In fact, I did it the same night this happened, and I got nothing back. It's now been nearly 4 days and I've not received anything back. So I got this lovely email where they kicked me out of the program at about 20 past 10 at night for me when I was currently live streaming. I politely asked for context so that I could maybe defend myself or give some kind of context to it all. And they have failed to get back to me within 4 days. So they're very quick at getting rid of people. Which is very unfortunate because I was very happy to be there and represent them, and I've been trying my best to keep players entertained and give them a space, and there's been so many lovely people in our community now that have gotten over their killer anxiety or are dealing with it better, and they actually have thanked us so many times, and bless your hearts, guys, for doing so. You guys have now actually found your love for DBD again, so I thought we were doing the right thing, right? I thought we were making a movement that was actually beneficial for the game. I thought we were onto something good. And then obviously we get hit with this. Now, what I will say is, this made me feel like ass. I'm going to be completely real. It felt like all the sleepless nights, all of the editing, all of the talking, all of the effort that I've been putting in was just slammed in my face by Behaviour, and it felt just like shit, right? Because this is not a reason to give me to say that you're no longer a part of the creator program. This is not a valid reason to me. I can't work with this. This gives me nothing. This is basically goodbye. We don't want you here anymore. And I'm just left questioning it, right? So, of course, this whole thing might not make full sense because the email they sent me doesn't make much sense either, right? So we're purely going off of speculation, but I can talk about what I know, and that's I am an avid defender of killers not having anxiety in Dead by Daylight, not to stir the pot, not to create an us versus them argument. I've said many times I love the survivor players, I love the good survivors. Of course, none of us like the survivors that come and tell us to off ourselves, which we had the other day on stream. We had a lovely survivor that lost in the game of Dead by Daylight, and they just had to come here and tell me to end my life, right? Now, of course, whatever happens to them, I don't know, but then I get kicked out of the creator program. That feels kind of shit, I'm not going to lie, because we don't stand for that, we don't condone, we don't want that kind of stuff, right? So, I had a bit of a theory. This is my theory on what they might have done, and again, it is just a theory, so take this with a pinch of salt, right? I applied for the creator program, and 2 days later, I got inside the creator program, right? Now, I remember a lot of people were very, very disappointed with Behaviour for a long time, right? There's been many people, amazing creators, that have been waiting so long to get inside that creator program, and they haven't had any news back, and people were getting very mad about it, right? They felt like they were just being ignored. I think what's happened is that Behaviour have mass accelerated accepting people, right? They've cared less about vetting them, and they've said we're going to vet them after we've introduced them into the creator program, okay? And that's why we're seeing a number of people get kicked out. This isn't just me that's affected, of course. There's other people as well. But if there's one thing that is kind of in common is that people oftentimes have the viewpoint of talking about the real issues in DBD, right? Not everybody. And because DBD don't exactly give anything concrete, we're all left speculating, right? So I feel like they've let a lot of people in, and then they've gone back and kind of, you know, vetted everybody, because there's no way they could keep up with that amount. I remember the day I got put inside the creator program, there were so many streamers and content creators in there that had just been added, like mass amounts of people, right? A lot of people. And congratulations to them, but there was an enormous amount, man, and I'm thinking to myself, if Behaviour can't even fix a few bugs in the game, how the fuck have they sat down and vetted all of these people? I'm thinking they've just allowed a bunch of people in to stop people complaining, and then they've gone and vetted them, right, and kicked out the ones they don't like or they don't prefer. That's my theory. It's not concrete. I don't know if it's true, but that would be my kind of theory on this. And again, this is something else I wanted to touch upon really, really quickly. I went back and I had a look at the content creator program policy, right? And this is very key to me. This reads, Behaviour Interactive reserves the right to modify these expectations or terminate the agreement with a member of the program at our discretion. All members of the Dead by Daylight creator program will be notified of any changes ahead of them taking place. Okay, so I wasn't notified, I was just boom, gone. And I know a few other people have just been picked up and launched away as well, right? This, to me, is Behaviour covering their asses and basically saying, Behaviour Interactive reserves the right to modify these expectations or terminate the agreement right? If they decide to, for whatever reason. If you say something they don't particularly like, this line backs them up doing so, right? This is very interesting. This is the line that I think allows them to get away with doing what they're doing, and I think it's disgraceful, I'm going to be honest, because you're telling me, Behaviour, that this gave me all the information I needed to know on how to improve, how to apologize, how to build myself, how to reflect. Nothing. There is absolutely nothing in this email that I can use to become better or anything like that. This is a blank statement. This might as well have said, hello, thank you for your involvement in the Dead by Daylight creator program. Fuck off. See you later, right? Essentially is what it basically says. I'm going to put it in plain English, right? That's basically what this says right now. I can't work with that. There is nothing that I can say that is going to make this any better. I'm just left to speculate, okay? So obviously, if anybody else talks about this subject, everybody else is going to be speculating because this whole thing came from speculation anyway. So all I'm going to say, guys, is I tried to do absolutely everything I could for Behaviour and for the killer players as well, and throwing no shade to survivors. Now, there have been some times recently, and I will fit this in really quickly. Sometimes we've had some survivors come in the stream as of late, right? And they've come in and they've been very disrespectful, they've been very rude, they've told us to end our life, you know, the usual, right? Okay, just for playing a game of DBD. There have been a few times, right, where I have fired back and I have got quite angry and I have said, it is a fucking skill issue, and I have said it in plain English, right? And I don't know if anyone from Behaviour have seen me retaliate back at them. That could be the reason, right? They could say, hey, listen, we don't want that guy representing us who's shouting back at survivors, right? That could be a genuine reason. And you know what? If it said that, I would apologize and say, you know what? Upon reflection, I should have probably handled that with a little bit more of a level head, right? But I'm sick to death because I'm supposed to represent a lot of killer players that are fed up all the time of hearing survivors tell them to get a rope, uninstall the game, they're trash, they have to play by a rulebook, and I got so fed up of it that I decided enough is enough. I just want to tell them exactly how I feel, right? And I'm sorry, if that is the only reason I can think of, by the way, but if that is the reason that I have been removed from the program, I am much happier and I am so much saner outside of it, because the one thing I can never do is try and polish a turd and call it a trophy when we all know that it's a turd, okay? I want this game to succeed. I've always wanted it to succeed. I want the survivors to have fun. I want the killer players to have fun. And I want the game to be as good as it can be. And that's all I've ever cared about. This, I think, could have been handled a ton better. And I do also believe that the reason some other controversial figures in the community who haven't been removed may be because I'm just an easier target, okay? I don't know. It could be more speculation. I'm not as big as some other creators, okay? And I say that humbly. I say that with transparency. There are a lot of creators out there in the hundreds of thousands of subscribers and all sorts of stuff like that, and fair play to them for grinding and putting the work in. But those guys haven't been removed, and maybe that's because maybe it's just a tactical decision. Maybe me being removed is small, insignificant, right? Maybe removing one of those would cause a massive, big kind of like whiplash effect, right? Where it comes and bites them back on the ass. I don't know. I genuinely don't. But I will say this. My roots have always been planted firmly into the ground on helping people have a voice in this game, bringing the community together and having a good time. And that is the #1 fundamental foundation for me, and it will still be there even though we're not in the creator program. To everybody that is in the creator program, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope it brings you a lot of opportunities. I really, really do. And I hope that Behaviour listens to you, and I hope that if there is ever a day you have a rough day and you feel the need to say something, I hope they don't give you the same treatment, because who knows what kind of fine line you're treading when anything can be changed at a moment's notice. Just like this says, Behaviour Interactive reserves the right to modify these expectations or terminate the agreement with a member of the program at our discretion. So that means for any number of reasons, you could just be cut off, right? Please be very, very careful, my friends. I am so thankful for you guys listening to me today. And this video probably will make it on YouTube. In fact, if you are watching this on YouTube, hello, appreciate you guys. You're very hot. I appreciate you being here today. Aside from that, thank you so much for listening to me, guys, and I really, really do appreciate it. You guys are the absolute best, and I will continue to be a strong streamer and a strong person for all of you guys, and I'm so proud of us all. Thank you so much.